Hello everybody, my name is Enguun. I am a sophomore at Amartuvshin International School, and today I'll be taking a different approach to the theme. What if some barriers were never meant to be broken? Now, before I answer this question, let me first dive a little bit deeper into the topic of breaking barriers. Breaking barriers. These two words capture both a challenge and an invitation. They ask us not just to live within the walls that we inherit, but to test them, to question them, to challenge them, and when necessary, to break through them. Ernest Hemingway has once said, "A man can be destroyed, but not defeated." I believe this quote reflects the very spirit of breaking barriers. In life, we may encounter challenges, obstacles, even some moments where it feels like the system itself is working against us. But defeat only comes when we stop trying. The very act of resilience, the act of pushing through no matter what downturns or what challenges life gives you, that is what helps us to break the barriers that helps us to develop. But if we're being honest with ourselves, breaking barriers isn't always neat, easy, or glamorous. Some can reveal truths that are very, very difficult to face. Let's take education, for example. Last academic year, over 85,000 students across Mongolia took the National Language and Writing exam. The results were sobering. Over 13,000 students, which is 15%, failed to meet the minimum marks for passing. Only 121 students, which is less than 0.2%, got full marks. It was also shared that students had written scenes from Korean dramas when they were asked to write about Mongolian historical events. Now, think of that for a second. It might sound funny at first. Students writing about K-dramas instead of Mongolian history. But it reveals a truth that we have yet again failed to face. It's the growing disconnect between Mongolian youth and their culture, their heritage, and history. And it's not just exams. Culture itself is under pressure. This summer, a popular artist amongst our generation took a classic Mongolian folk song, one that is filled with poetry, tradition, and emotion. And he took both the melody and the lyrics and he rewrote it into something very vulgar. Now, his version wasn't just to elevate culture or honor creativity. It was used as a tool for shock value and attention. Maybe he thought he was breaking barriers or following Western music trends, where breaking barriers often meant pushing the boundaries of what can be said or shown. But here's the problem. Not every barrier is supposed to be broken. When the purpose of crossing the line is to provoke or to profit, what's left behind is not progress, it's erosion. Instead of breaking the barriers of fear or limitation, we risk breaking the foundations of dignity and respect. And it's not only a Mongolian problem. Studies from Billboard has shown that over 1/3 of the most popular songs worldwide contains some kind of derogatory or degrading lyrics, most of them being against women. These songs, they top global charts, they flood social media. They break barriers, yes, but towards what end? Are we breaking the barriers that frees our people? Or are we breaking the barriers that protect who we are? Here's the thing. barrier breaking can go two ways. One path builds bridges, breaking down inequality, challenging stereotypes, and opening doors that were once locked. The other path, it tears things down. It breaks tradition, it breaks culture, and it breaks respect. And here's the truth. Barriers will always exist no matter where we go. They're part of life, they're part of growth, and they're part of history. But every barrier that we face leaves us with two choices. Will we break it to climb higher, or will we break it to just leave rubble behind? Now, as young people, as leaders, as artists, as thinkers, the responsibility is ours. Breaking barriers should mean daring to explore a future where culture is not forgotten, where art inspires instead of degrades, where language is alive. So today, as we gather under the theme of breaking barriers, I leave you with this. Do not break every barrier you see. Guard the ones that guard your roots. Strengthen the ones that hold your culture upright. And when you must break the ones of apathy, break the ones of hatred, break the ones of forgetting. Because not all progress making has to tear things down. Some walls protect who we are. Some barriers are the bones of who we are. Language, traditions, and history. Breaking them does not mean liberation. It is loss. So let me repeat. Not all barriers are meant to be broken. Some are meant to be preserved, protected, and lastly, to be passed on. Thank you, everyone.